Okay, hi everyone. My name is Raffi Putra, and today I'm going to be discussing about the tensile testing experiment of the MOM lab. So here's the overview of what I'm going to cover later in the video with the introduction of tensile testing, the goals, the methodology, and the results and discussion. Note that this video is basically just the short summary of the whole report. So for more details, please do check the report. So tensile testing is a crucial experiment used to measure how materials behave under tension. It helps us to understand key mechanical properties such as Young's modulus, yield strength, ultimate tensile strength, and maximum elongation. And the results of the tensile test is basically the stress strain curve as can be seen from the screen. So there are several objectives that we're going to get from doing tensile test experiment. First is to apply the knowledge of tensile test as a mechanical engineering student. Second is to determine the tensile properties of the four materials that we're going to do the tensile test of. And third is to understand how the four material specimen behave under the effect of tensile load. There are several materials and tools needed to do the tensile test experiment. For the material, first we will need a specimen samples which is made out of steel, aluminum, HDPE, PLA, and is by the standard of ASTM E8 and ASTM B638. For the tools, we're gonna need centimeter rulers, markers, PPE, the tensile test machine, reagent wrench, and vernier caliper. So here is the dimension of the workpiece that we're going to use in tensile test experiment. So for the machine used in tensile test experiment, we're going to use the 313 family universal test. Here are the system specifications of the machine. So in summary, the working procedure of the tensile test experiment consists of three steps. First of all is to mark the specimen's parameters such as the grip area, the gauge length, and the weight using marker. The second step is to upload the parameters that we have measured before to the computer and to the machine. And after that, we may start doing the tensile test experiment. So the data that we achieve during tensile test is saved to CSV format, which can be opened using sheet software such as Excel or Google Sheets, and from there we can get the properties of the materials tested during tensile test such seen in the table below. So we can construct stress versus strain graphs for each material from the data we obtain. We can get both Young's modulus and yield strength by creating a slope from the elastic zone of the material, and the slope of that value is basically the Young's modulus of the material, whereas the point intersection between the two graphs is basically the yield point of that specific material. So in tensile testing, there exists a phenomenon called the slip phenomenon, as can be seen from the screen. This occurs when the strain value increases without any increase in stress value. So this can occur due to low friction between the specimen and the grip, which makes the specimen slip from the gripper. As I explained earlier, we can get the Young's modulus of the materials we tested in tensile testing by getting the slope of the elastic zone of the material in the stress strain curve. So here is the Young's modulus of the materials that we tested. Notice that there's inconsistency of the experimental Young's modulus that we get from the tensile test experiment and the Young's modulus as reference in the internet or in journal. So this can happen due to several factors such as inaccuracy sample geometry, material purity, uh, and the differences in material grades. So to answer the ninth and the 10th question of the module, why steel is used more in construction rather than ceramic? So first of all, steel has much higher fracture toughness than the ceramics, make it less prone to crack. Also, steel has high ductility, unlike ceramic, who is brittle. So the third reason is steel has high tensile strength, typically around 400 MPa, making it ideal for load-bearing applications. So for the 10th question about toughness. Toughness refers to a material's capacity to absorb energy in the plastic deformation. So it refers to the ductility of the material. And here are the two real-life applications of toughness in engineering. So for building construction where accidental overload may happen, ductile materials with higher Young's modulus such as aluminum or steel is used, whereas polymers which are high in ductility but have lower tensile strength, they are ideal for flexible applications such as seals or gaskets. So that's all from me. Thank you.